front end of the vehicle is being worked on at the moment and being built up nicely. We already saw that the front struts and shock absorbers were already fitted, and the kingpins, which were looking fantastic. Brake assemblies are looking really smart, contrasting nicely against the powder coated black hubs or kingpins, and also the backing plates, for example. Since then, we can see that the anti-roll bar system is on, and also the front subframe. Now, that was able to go on after the manifolds. We were waiting for the manifolds to be installed so that we could then get the subframe on later on. So we've got the manifolds fitted, which look wonderful and are nicely curving their way down as per normal S54 manifolds, just coated. They're coming down, so new gaskets, new studs and new nuts, all from BMW up on the cylinder head where it comes out. You can just see another section of them up there. And then they're coming down to the centre section where it would meet the catalytic converters. So that's all in place. There was one more heat shield we decided to replace, which is up there. Normally we don't do that one. This one was looking very clean, but when we put the old one on versus the new ones, you can see the labels for the new ones on the bulkhead and the front control arm bush one there, it did show up. There was a heat distortion discoloration on the old one that would go across the chassis leg behind there. So that one's on its way from BMW, which is fine because that can go in after, that's no problem. And like I say, once the manifolds were fitted, then that allows us to carry on with the exhaust system, which will go down the vehicle shortly. But now the subframe is on, which again was powder coated. It was already a very good condition subframe, but having now fresh powder coat on top of that. The engine mounts looking great as well, with the zinced bolts, which give a nice contrast against the black. Steering rack was cleaned and was already in great condition. Pipes have just gone on, so we've got a bit of cleaning to do about some residual oil that's gone on there. New clamps for the steering gaiters, and the steering tie rods. Well, the car came in with new tie rods on, so those have probably done very little mileage, so those were in great order and were able to go back on. Anti-roll bar was also, I think that had been recently renewed, and the new drop links are all fitted up, connecting the front central sections to the outboard pieces. So that's the left and the right and the central up there. We've got a few more things to do in the underside section, but we are getting very close now to then the wishbones going on, which is almost the last piece, connecting new BMW wishbones from the subframe to the outboard section, the kingpin, then to the front control arm bushes just there, which is why that heat shield from BMW is sculpted, so to make sure the exhaust heat doesn't interfere with the rubber from the bush. And then we'll be making our way underneath the vehicle. So one more heat shield we've got to put on in that place there. That's a brand new one that's already here with us from BMW. And then it'll be cat's centre section, and then the rear box at the end of the vehicle. So front end is looking more and more complete as we go forward and get near completion for this underside restoration. Hi Nigel, it's James R here. This little video clip is obviously not going to go on the final video. This is just a personal one to you. Hopefully you just watched the little video, if I made it correctly, just showing you the front update and what's going on the front end now that the manifolds are on, and then the front steering subframe and it's connected up. Obviously the front arms still have to go on, so still a few things to do. We've got the rest of the exhaust to fit. The prop shaft centre bearing did get fitted. I checked that with Dave, so that's a genuine BMW one that went in there. Got a few things in the engine bay just to tidy up, and that's really it. We're getting obviously closer and closer. The last few plastics will cover up the from the bumper to the subframe where they clip into there, so that covers that, and then the gearbox under tray obviously covers the rest of it. So the majority of the underside of the engine you won't see, although it is in really good order and not corroded or leaking oil, which is great news, because lots of trust me, lots of M3s do have oil leaks, and that's great that yours doesn't. So it will look even better as we go forward with the underside plastic. So that's the update of where we are at the moment. Just to also let you know that at the moment, Dave, the technician who's been working on your car pretty much the entire time, from start to finish, I mean, is on annual leave at the moment, pre-planned annual leave. So there isn't really anything going on this week. So just to let you know that there won't really be much other updates this week because he's not here. So that there will be obviously work recommencing early next week when he returns, and then I would have thought within a day or so there'll probably be another update, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably one of the final, if not the final update going towards the underside of the vehicle once the underside is completed, which primarily is the exhaust and some plastic under tray. So that gives you an idea of where we are with the project, and also that there's going to be a little bit more time required with the car here, not necessarily because it's being worked on, because like I say, Dave's on holiday at the moment, but more of just giving you an idea of how long the car might be with us for. Nothing's going to go on this week, and then next week I suppose we'll be on the last few jobs of it. Any questions, feel free to give us a call, let us know, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks, Nigel.